Hi guys, welcome to today's video. It's Friday, super happy that you're here. I hope you had a wonderful week. And today I want to talk about fear. And it's interesting because I had this conversation with my son yesterday when I took him to school, and we're talking about the classes that he's taking in the studio. You know, my kid is very active here. He's doing boxing, Jujitsu, he's trying aerial yoga, he's doing flying pole, and this is also that's my way to kind of help him to build himself and develop himself, to build resilience, deal with fears, deal with challenges, and how to overcome losses, or deal with real-time situations. And he told me that he wanted to invite a friend for a class, and he invited a friend to come one to our aerial class. And his friend said that he's scared or he's afraid from being in the air, because either have a fear of heights, or he's just afraid he can't hold himself, right? And then I asked my kid, have you if he understands where the fear comes from, and he said no, and his friend also don't know. And the funny thing is, after this conversation, I was listening to a podcast by Sadhguru. And he said that fear is something that we either experienced or imaginately creating. It's not something that happened in the moment. And what he meant is that in a specific moment when we're afraid of something, either because we had a bad experience in the past and it comes up to a present moment, or we just creating some kind of event that might happen but never happened, right? So you can think about it like you're afraid to climb somewhere because you're afraid of falling, and you never fell, but you're kind of already imagining yourself falling, and that brings you the fear into the current moment, and then you're afraid of doing stuff, right? Or for example, you fell in the past, and then when you need to deal with the same challenge again, you're afraid that the same thing gonna happen, and you kind of start developing this fear. Now, and this is the interesting part, because that's actually the reason why we kind of offering a lot of, and I always push, I'm inviting a lot of parents and inviting the kids also to try a lot of classes with different modalities: boxing, jiu-jitsu, flying pole, aerial arts, and everything that we have to offer here. And the reason is because it helps them to deal with fears. It helps them, if they're afraid of being in the air, that's a good place to start. They can try aerial yoga, and then they can understand that it's not that bad. And we have parents that actually had their kids being scared of doing that to really having fun in classes, right? Same thing about jiu-jitsu. It's not very, it's scary when you need to fight somebody, but then when you learn the technique and you kind of dealing with this challenge, it become you're less afraid of doing that, and that basically helps. And the more kids practice that, the better they cope with fear in general. Not only in that specific thing, they just they develop this kind of mechanism of dealing with fears, of dealing with uncertainty, right? By the way, the same thing happens with adults if you think about it, and I give you the easiest example is with dogs, right? So I have a dog. Every time I take him out, I have people that like him, and I have people that are super scared of him, even though they never were beaten by a dog, and they didn't have any bad experience with it. But the point is, they kind of create this imaginary scenario where the dog can bite them, and they're afraid of him. So they kind of create this imaginary scenario and bring it to the present moment. And that's, by the way, how you can learn to deal with fear, right? So one of the psychological mechanism of dealing with fear is just basically dealing with the fear on a daily basis or on a constant basis. And then the more you encounter it, the less fearful you become. So you learn how to cope with it, you learn how to deal with that, you learn how to calm yourself down if you're in a situation where fear comes up, and you kind of understand, okay, I didn't have any past experience with that, I don't know what to expect, so I can try that. And then the more you experience and you try things, especially things that scares you, the better you become in one. The fear just diminishes, and second, you just learn how to deal with fear better. That's it for today. I hope it gives you a little bit new perspective about fear and how to deal with that. Obviously, we We super welcoming kids here to come and try all the classes that we have. I know some kids are more shy, some kids are more, they're afraid or they feel uncomfortable with something, and that's exactly the reason why we encourage them to do that, because they're dealing with whatever they need to deal with. So they will become better when they grow up, when they can overcome their challenges, that they can self-develop themselves. And that's about it. Have a wonderful Friday. Obviously, if you have any questions, let me know. You're all welcome to come to our studio, see our new schedule in January, take part of our classes. And that's about it. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.